Hello, hello. Welcome everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, the November store release. I'm Spencer Beemiller and joined today by
Julia Martinson. We're both from the Chief Innovation Office, and today we'll be introducing the incredible innovations that came out in the November store release. Some of these innovations include customer experience, technology experience, employee experience, operating excellence, and hyperautomation and low code. But before we really get started, let's go over some housekeeping items. We have saved time at the end of today's event for live Q&A. Ask questions along the way, though, using those Q&A buttons at the bottom of your Zoom, please.
Today's event will also be recorded and shared on the ServiceNow community after the event. Any links that you might have missed will also be available in the community, so don't stress out too much.
And also, please be sure to let us know what you thought of today's event by providing your feedback in a short survey. So once you leave the webinar, there will be a little pop-up window in your browser. Thank you for this.
Yeah, today we'll be covering the top innovations that came out in this store release most recently. You'll also learn how to access new features on the ServiceNow store towards the end, and how you can leverage quarterly store releases for smoother upgrades.
All right, so here you can see a lay of the land. If the land is the November store release, and it is in this case. So here are all the new features we will be covering today. Let's get started, Spencer.
Yeah, let's do it. So we'll start today in Contractor Mobile from Field Service Management. Our new mobile app for Contractor equips them with a purpose-built app for viewing, executing, and debriefing work order tasks, whether connected or even offline. Many field service organizations use third-party contractors to complete different services, things like including installations, inspections, break fix, emergency, and maintenance work. Now, Contractor Mobile simplifies the process for contractors to receive and manage this work accordingly. They are able to get the visibility to all the job details to help ensure they have everything they need to complete the job on the first visit, which decreases costs by avoiding this second truck roll subsequently. Now, this includes customer information. It includes things like relevant knowledge-based articles. It includes parts required. And debriefing the work order is now streamlined with the ability to add document notes and images easily while they're on site. As you can imagine, this makes it for a quicker response time and for quicker completion times. Good thing here, Contractor Mobile is included as part of the Field Service Contractor SKU.
All I hear is quicker, quicker, quicker. So now on to technology excellence. The world of cloud native operations is moving really fast. Companies are automating the provisioning and support of their services, their applications, infrastructure straight onto the cloud using Kubernetes containers on multiple platforms. This allows them to make their applications scalable, brief, and portable. The Lightstep application has been a leading innovator in achieving cloud-native observability for years. With the November release, ServiceNow now has two new cloud-native capabilities: cloud-native operations for visibility and cloud-native operations for AIOps. And the beauty is, it's not complicated at all. Not very complicated. So, I mean, at the school down the road here, the teachers can't be everywhere at once, right? So they have these hall monitors. Imagine a hall monitor, but for the cloud. Self-scaling and carefully balanced combinations of containerized mid-servers and agent client collectors report events to enterprise service operators back on the platform. And those metrics can be quickly and efficiently processed by AI and addressed by agents and operators on the service operations workspace. Sometimes even before the alert becomes an actual incident. And one of the best parts of cloud native operations is that it can work with cloud tags and read network traffic to map exactly what each element does and whether it is still operational. And when the cluster is spun down, so is the ServiceNow infrastructure. And when it's needed again, the ServiceNow hall monitor can be automated right back to life again. So this keeps costs down and services and applications up.
I love this, except maybe the scary idea of a hall monitor. That brings back haunted memories of high school. Anyways, well, since we're on the subject of new innovations from ITOM, Jules, did you know that ServiceNow mapping is getting faster and simpler thanks to machine learning? For as long as companies have had IT departments, service mapping has been an arduous and relatively time-consuming process. The difficulty really comes at 2 points. First, getting started often means that determining entry points for every critical systems and tracing network traffic through all the related middleware and software and infrastructure and hardware, whether physical or virtual, is pretty arduous. And it's done manually across hundreds or even thousands of systems, where this full process can take days if you're lucky, weeks if you're a little bit more unlucky, and months if you are extremely unlucky. A second challenge comes in while maintaining the accuracy of these systems maps as new elements are added or changed. So if automated processes are not in place to keep up with the changes, then companies quickly lose faith in the data that's there. And historically, this has meant the efforts to produce and maintain a truly comprehensive set of enterprise maps could be relatively prohibitive. Where we come in, ServiceNow has always been a great platform to start to graph technologies and understand how the systems intermingle and weave together, whether that's hosted in data centers or in cloud containers, like you just talked about, Jules. And it has been tackling these new technologies, or we've been tackling these new technologies and enabling new methods with every single release. Now, companies need to come up to speed even faster on a greater number of service maps and process changes even more quickly, however, as the pipeline continues to come in at full force like it's doing. And they need a service mapping moonshot to try and figure out how all this stuff starts to piece together. So now what machine learning will allow us to take this giant leap forward through automated service suggestions. Now, in a process known as digital fingerprinting, machine learning routines are already kind of working in the background to analyze network traffic and create high fidelity service maps for you. And beginning in the ServiceNow store release, operators, administrators, and architects will be able to access these automatically suggested service maps in an easy to use navigator form. And that enables them to quickly review the relationships and components, then start to strategically incorporate the maps as an application service into their existing CMDB. Now, automated service suggestions make it significantly easier to get started by taking advantage of system maps without needing a comprehensive list of entry points. And it makes it simultaneously easier to maintain the accuracy of the maps, since machine learning can detect and update changes that are already based on the meaningful network traffic out there. Now, with trusted system data, organizations can use the service maps and components to manage risk and technical debt, reduce costs, and predict and eliminate outages for their service operations. This new feature simply requires ITOM visibility.
Wow. Next up, we have Cloud Configuration Compliance Dashboard, a new update in security operations. IT and security departments need a centralized view for cloud vulnerability and configuration issues. Otherwise, how can they really manage and report on configuration compliance? With the Cloud Configuration Compliance Dashboard, now here up on the screen, they can view, manage, and report on the overall configuration compliance posture and trends, including risk ratings, remediation target tracking, asset category, and impacted services.
Nice. Yeah, lovely. Well, here's some news in another area. We'll now be able to understand how users can access and navigate through digital portfolio management to manage their solutions. This is going to help prioritize new features and fix and improve any existing features out there. So our customers will be able to integrate their DevOps data into a full view of their apps in this digital portfolio management suite and empower their owners to make better planning decisions.
Well, and also today's 24/7 operations teams need complex schedule creation processes to meet the needs of global operations. But these efforts are currently often done manually, making them time consuming. So the new workforce optimization enhancements will streamline schedule creation for both agents and managers by leveraging a configurable calendar that can be populated with agent skills as well as agent preferences for days or times. Agents then can be auto-assigned in a much more efficient way, which reduces the burden on managers. With Service Operations Workspace integration, managers can engage their team members in a way that will improve team performance and enable a much higher employee satisfaction score. You will need ITSM Enterprise SKU, or you can purchase this feature as part of ITSM Pro.
Amazing. Now let's move to employee experience. Workplace service delivery has a new prime directive, and that's space optimization through scenario planning. And to support collaboration and teams and events, we've actually introduced multi-building reservations.
Okay, let's look closer into this. So returning to the workplace after such a long absence has provided several difficulties to employers, not the least of which is what to do with all that extra space that we all have from all that continued remote work. In the past, just moving a few teams around on one floor was a complex project. So imagine how difficult restructuring an entire building can be. Forget about the system updates, just moving hundreds of people, reproducing floor maps, having it be a mildly good experience for employees. It was nearly impossible.
I think I can help you here, Jules. Scenario planning is featured in a new workspace for space planners and admins. It's called Workplace Central. And it helps the teams to visualize the current space allocations and create what-if building reconfiguration scenarios to analyze various space opportunities. It uses a visual stack planner like the one you're seeing here on the screen that provides visibility into space allocations and availability by departments, by floor, and by building. So now planners can assess the current floor plans and determine the best possible way to reconfigure and deploy the new allocations.
Gosh, I just love these visualizations. So we also provide mapping support, which helps the planner to visualize departments and make allocations, define user assignments, and test any other changes within the scenario itself without affecting the live data. This allows moves to be planned out ahead of time, for example. Multi-building reservations is an enhancement to the existing application, Workplace Reservation Management, for employees to reserve similar space simultaneously across different buildings, different campuses, different sites while planning for an event or some team collaboration.
Yeah, we also know that our customers want to be able to measure service performance and service quality as they're rearranging individuals around and getting notions of their teams. But they don't always know what and how to measure these things. So we've added value for HR with this new trackability. You can now view metrics like self-service rates, call deflection rates, ML-based time savings, and even more, so they can determine what areas need improvement for their teams. They can also leverage information around CSAT, first assignment resolution, and mean time to repair to continually improve the quality of the employee service experience. And this improvement comes in the HRSD Pro and Enterprise packages.
Wow, that's amazing. Hey, did you know there was a new report? So according to Okta's 2022 Business at Work report, the average large company deploys 187 apps, which is probably around 186 apps and tools an employee will likely never look at, but still has to navigate through. The new dynamic topic pages in the Employee Center from HRSD will enable non-technical content authors to easily create and modify content and place it in a topic page, making it simpler for employees to find and also access the information that's relevant to them. This innovation requires the Employee Center Pro package.
I can't say enough about Employee Center Pro. We're spoiled here at ServiceNow to get to enjoy that one single splash page. So thanks for sharing the update there, Jules. Another legal service deliverable within the employee experience is legal and HR better together. This workflow solution, actually. This feature streamlines the transfer of escalation process for employee complaints between HR and legal. And it ensures prompt action between the two while still maintaining privacy that's of the utmost importance for those two departments. Now, when an employee relations issue is typically initiated, it's often brought to the attention of HR first before being sent to the legal team to investigate. And oftentimes that creates a lack of synchronicity between the two teams and the systems that each of the teams is using while they're trying to keep all the involved parties updated throughout the ordeal. And as a spokesperson for Reese's once said about chocolate and peanut butter, some things just work better together. Just like that, the HRSD and LSD Better Together solution provides a seamless transfer of work between HR and legal as the complaint is resolved. And hopefully we all get Reese's after this. Through HRSD, the HR team is able to transfer the request to the legal department to investigate the issue within the system. This kicks off an official legal investigation workflow, which consists of a series of predefined legal matter tasks, including things like interviews and evidence collection. Now, communication between the departments is still maintained throughout the process, along with complete audit control and reportability. Sensitivity is, of course, still maintained, and ensuring all those parties involved with the issue have access to the data are kept informed and kept secure.
Gosh, you're spot on. I mean, communication and sensitivity are key, right? So that's also why I guess whenever you're talking to a coworker, you should never start off by saying, I shouldn't tell you this, just to make sure they're listening. Anyways, but let's talk and turn our attention to operating excellence. For legal services, we have Catalog Builder, which provides legal teams with a simple way to configure and deploy new legal intake processes without the need for IT involvement and programming help. Although there are a lot of common legal practice workflows across most organizations, there are also unique legal requests that businesses may require. For example, something as simple as requesting a legal review of a marketing event, or maybe legal questions about bringing a new product name to market. This new catalog builder allows legal operations to create, to configure and deploy new intake and routing processes to the service catalog and the employee portal without the need to manage IT or development resources. And anything I can do without having to involve IT is a win. Well, I mean, for me, they know me all too well, because all of my IT problems can usually be fixed by them telling me to turn it off and turn it back on again. Catalog Builder is included at no extra charge with a legal service delivery license.
Yeah, now we know outside of this, Knowledge 23 is coming up for our huge customer conference of the year next spring. Hopefully to see all of you all there. And we all know that we have to remember to track our expenses as we're starting to travel back into the world. Now, good news, this is a lot easier for us because our budgeting tools have pre-populated categories like airfare, hotel, rental cars, and things of the like. Imagine how much more time it would take if those categories weren't already in there for us. Well, that's why we came up with ESG reporting content packs. With ESG data, there can be hundreds of categories called metrics definitions, and our content packs will help you set up those definitions much, much faster, potentially saving a lot of manual hours out there.
Wow, I love those content packs. And here's another interesting tidbit. We know some of our customers, like yourselves, now have to report their energy use and their carbon footprint, and also from every single one of your facilities, which can be hundreds or even thousands. So for any company that operates sites in more than a few utility service areas, and especially those global companies, the act of gathering energy and carbon emissions data for each building from each utility provider and in one place can be a huge undertaking. And that's where ServiceNow and Arcadia come in. By integrating ESG management with your software, users can ingest utility data from all of your global facilities, ensuring better data accuracy, as well as significantly reducing time and effort.
Yeah, so important to help understand those ESG numbers and actually make them tangible metrics that we can report back to the streets. I'd love to see that we're doing things there. Another thing in today's world that's pretty common from what we're hearing is supply chain disruption, and getting information about what's going on with the supplier right now is pretty critical throughout the lifeline of the supply chain. So supplier managers need an immediate way to look at a supplier and then see all the open issues and how those issues are being resolved or worked on. With Supplier 360, supplier managers can now view all those open cases and the tasks regarding a supplier in addition to the master of the information. This includes both tactical status regarding who's working on what, and strategic status regarding how many issues, what kind of issues, and how fast those issues are being solved. Supplier managers can now go straight to the problem solving instead of searching all over for the information.
Oh, I love this. Thank you so much for shining light on Supplier 360, one of my favorite ones.
I thought it might be.
Planners also need a way to visualize and group work relevant to their role to effectively plan, make informed decisions, and communicate a shared strategy to deliver business outcomes. With new Alignment Planner Workspace enhancements, you can create, manage, and share flexible portfolio plans based on their desired way of visualizing and grouping work to uncover planning insights that drive strategic outcomes.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to be able to track the work progress that supports your strategic goals so you can drive business outcomes more efficiently? How many times have you asked yourself that question? If you're anything like me, just once right now, but that's all right. I'm not like most business leaders out there. That's a different story for them. They're thinking of these things all the time. Leaders are always looking for ways to track how work contributes to strategy and how they can get more accurate and monitor goal progress in real time so they can respond to change faster and become a better or agile organization. Let's talk about advanced goal framework, because that's exactly what this innovation was designed to do. Track work progress automatically, because trying to do that manually is inefficient, time-consuming, and results in error-filled results. This capability requires downloading a separate plugin.
All right. And also, as promised, we have a couple of new innovations in hyperautomation and low-code. Let's start off with App Engine Management Center's newest feature, application usage. This feature up here on the screen was created to empower IT admins to see what custom low-code apps are being used in their IT environment and how frequent that usage is. This will allow those admins and organizational leaders to properly plan for and support apps that have become critical to the day-to-day usage of its employees, and sunset those that are utilizing resources above and beyond their effectiveness. Sunset. Such a nice way to say that you're actually getting rid of something, right? Like, I mean, no, Timmy, Bubbles isn't dead. He's just sunsetting.
Rest in peace, Bubbles. Let's take a look now at what's happening with Workspace Builder. Low-code developers often need a safe workspace to work in to avoid running into IT pitfalls, like non-real-time data used for analysis, inefficient building of customized dashboards, or tracking and analyzing user records taking too much time to pull together a real-time view. Good news, with Workspace Builder, low-code developers can create custom dashboards using a few simple clicks instead of a lot of complex code. This newly streamlined experience allows for them to use a single builder, or allows a single builder to create custom data visualizations, filtered lists, and record pages for workspaces created from their Workspace Experience template in App Engine Studio, all in one place. There are drag and drop capabilities for the customization of these filters, of the images, of the text, and more. And developers can create role-specific list categories and filtered list and design bespoke content record pages by customizing the form, by customizing the activity stream, the related information, the playbook, the response templates, the attachments, and agent assist, and even ribbon components. Cool thing here, App Engine licensed customers already have exclusive access to this premium feature.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a segment I like to call New Industry Innovations. And I'm calling it that because it's actually what it's called. So New Industry Innovations, here we go. Governments are responsible for delivering services around a variety of non-emergency requests, such as potholes or so. The methods for reporting those issues vary, but they're often hard to navigate and provide little visibility into whether an issue or a ticket or a process is actually being addressed.
Yeah, the service request playbook is a new application here that's available in the ServiceNow store for public sector digital services to address this exact need. Now, with this application, governments can deploy a prepackaged playbook that's purpose-built to digitize and automate those non-emergency public services extremely quickly. In the context of CSM, a playbook is the name of a full end-to-end application that comes with an agent experience, a portal experience, a virtual agent, and things of the like. Now, because of that, citizens can now make those requests anytime, anywhere, on any device, And then on the back end, government employees are guided through an intuitive process-based experience to fulfill those requests. So better experiences on both ends. You'd be hard pressed to find a government that doesn't list improving the citizen experience as a top priority in their strategic plan. Just last year, the US federal government passed an executive order to ensure that government services are responsible to the citizen needs out there. These citizens actually need an easier way to import these services, something that's quick, something that's easily accessible, something that provides transparency into the status of those requests. Otherwise, how will they know they're being heard? And how will they know that the work is even being done? So until now, governments have really relied on these customized off-the-shelf software for non-emergency services. And customized solutions means additional time and additional money spent on developing and implementing services. But with Service Request Playbook, governments has the opportunity to run more efficiently right out of the box, right out of the cloud, and address the ever-increasing volume of inbound calls.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Another group, communication service providers or CSPs, need to be able to process customer orders and then initiate the workflows to design and assign network resources for those services ordered. Or more plainly put, they need to be able to integrate the network inventory with order management. Or even more plainly put, to solve for this, they need our new innovation, which will create additional value for OMT and TNI customers. Enabling this integration will create a much more seamless service experience. This feature does require a TNI Pro license.
You know me too well, putting things extremely plainly put. Thank you, Julia. It's all about being proactive and resolving an issue before it becomes an issue. That's one of the things we at ServiceNow do best, in my opinion. We can give technical support the tools to quickly assess how an incident impacts customers, and then make it so they can quickly communicate with the affected customers to not only let them know what's happening, but also to find a resolution extremely fast. Now, with our new proactive service experience workflows, we can eliminate the bottlenecks that slow down an issue resolution, since users won't have to rely on manual processes anymore, or they can go through the customer support team. They can then identify the impacted customers and create proactive case flows with one single click. All of this is part of the technology provider service management standard package.
Wow. Well, now maybe you're an enterprise customer and you're making a server request from your service catalog. But the field options are out of date because the technology provider recently added new server options, but forgot to update the data. Not only will you get an error message, but you're also probably going to experience some frustration along the way. This can actually be easily solved with the remote choice in Service Bridge application, which will pull up-to-date, accurate data directly from the technology provider's ServiceNow instance. Remote choice limits data errors to give the enterprise customer a much better user experience.
I love that. Auto updates from multiple instances. Now we're talking. Well, let's switch real quick to bank managers. You ever think about all the things you have to keep track of as a bank manager? The client life cycle, credit cards, debit cards, loans, deposits, those papers that you wrap coins and pennies and quarters in, and not even just the money part, but all the roles they oversee. The tellers, the branch reps, the sales reps, the relationship managers, and many, many more. And it's all focused on the art of keeping the customer happy as they interface with the bank. Surprisingly, that's the kind of stuff I think about. And ServiceNow actually thinks about it too. There's a new innovation out there called Branch Manager Dashboard that will give these branch managers a 360 all-encompassing view of business activities across branches. So now they can see how they're operating and easily raise service requests on behalf of their customers. On top of that, they get to obtain insights around how those requests have been trending over time. And it all provides corporate headquarters with the ability to view the branch performance and identify opportunities for branch training, improvements, and resource planning. Branch Manager Dashboard is available as part of the Financial Services Operations Standard Package.
And you know, speaking of financial services operations, we've created an integration with Jack Henry, the primary technology partner for over 1,000 banks and credit unions. This new out-of-the-box integration will provide seamless client servicing with real-time visibility into accounts and transactions. Agents will be empowered to quickly view complete customer profiles, initiate actions in Jack Henry core banking systems, and access key information to complete servicing requests, all in a single view. The integration should drive hard savings in servicing by reducing AHT and post-call processing times. And it is available in Financial Services Operations Pro and Enterprise.
Nice. Well, if you've ever had to file an insurance claim, don't shoot the messenger on this one. You know how difficult it can be. This is in part because of how many different people and systems and how much paperwork it involves. One of the biggest complaints filers have is the lack of transparency throughout this process. Now, personal lines claims allows insurance carriers to provide the digital and transparent claims journey customers expect, from first notice of loss all the way through the settlement, giving customers real-time visibility into the claim status. It equips claims personnel with personalized workspaces and data that ensures claim files are always current with pertinent information. Now, this helps not only drive faster resolution while reducing cost and minimizing disparate systems, manual work, and paper files, but it also gives customers real-time visibility into the status of their claim, a huge benefit that greatly increases customer satisfaction. Personalized claims is available in the Financial Services Operations, Professional, and Enterprise packages. And lastly, but not leastly, as part of our ongoing effort here to improve the platform's foundations, we've enhanced ATF with AI-powered regression test generation. Now, some of you may recognize this as a re-platform technology from our acquisition of DotWalk last year. What it is ATF Test Generator and Cloud Runner automate upgrades and the testing of ServiceNow applications to help customers like yourselves upgrade seamlessly and keep pace with the technology maintenance. This ability to test new application changes faster, reduces the time to the market, and increases the pace of innovation for customers.
Wow, what a way to close it off. All right, so we've covered a lot of very important material: Contractor mobile, from field service management, cloud native operations, proactive service experience workflows, Reese's peanut butter cups, service request playbook, the Jack Henry integration, and lots more.
That is a lot. Are we done, Julia?
Well, we're done. You and I, we are done. But our webinar actually isn't done. We are passing the torch on to Shamal, who is going to walk our audience through how to access these innovations on the ServiceNow store.
Shamal, of course. Are you out there? I see you on video.
Hi, Spencer. Hi, Julia.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to see you all today. With our last few minutes, let's talk about how to access these innovations on the ServiceNow store. And friendly reminder to everyone to keep your questions coming using the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom. And please do remember to fill out the survey at the end of today's presentation. So where can you access all of the new features that we talked about today? Well, the ServiceNow store, of course. The ServiceNow store gives you the option to get new and updated applications built by ServiceNow, as well as partners outside of the normal family release that we're all familiar with. There are hundreds of applications, integrations, and content packs available, many of which are free for ServiceNow customers or may be included in your subscription. Start by visiting the ServiceNow store at store.servicenow.com. You can explore without creating a profile, but I suggest that you do so you can customize notifications to be notified about what matters most to you. There is a lot happening on the ServiceNow store, so by customizing your subscription settings, you can get notified about what's new in the ServiceNow store that pertains to you. So once you're logged in, click on your profile to select subscribe. You will then be able to select categories that you want to be notified about. Click Save at the bottom. Then you'll receive an email that looks a lot like this whenever there is a new release in the store. You can also see what's available on the store right in your instance. If you go to System Applications, All, and then you go to App Manager to search and install apps. So when you're ready to install, you can do it right from your instance. I personally prefer to browse in store.servicenow.com because there's a lot more information there. and then moving to my instance when I'm ready to execute. Let's take a moment here to quickly level set on ServiceNow releases. Most of us are familiar with the twice-a-year family release, and I'm sure some of you have already upgraded to Tokyo. While store releases happen with each family release, as well as in between family releases. This allows you to spread the upgrade workload out over a longer period and prioritize each part. Leveraging the ServiceNow store puts you in more control of when and what to upgrade. Store apps allow you to develop an upgrade plan with less disruption to your organization. It is no longer an all or nothing upgrade process. So one of the advantages of store apps is that each app is updated independently. So that means when you upgrade to a new family release, every app is elevated to that family release. So for example, when you upgrade to the Tokyo release, every app is going to be elevated to Tokyo. Since each store app is updated independently, you can choose which app to upgrade and when to upgrade. And another advantage of store apps is that some applications may support multiple releases. Depending on the app or feature, you may not need to upgrade to a family release to access the app. So independent app updates plus support for previous releases equals upgrades on your schedule. Independent app updates plus support for previous releases allows you to upgrade on your own schedule because integrating those store apps allows you to balance when you want to upgrade rather than just upgrading everything with a family release. You can choose to upgrade parts at a time. This is why we're releasing more and more apps on the ServiceNow store so that you can upgrade an app earlier, or conversely, you can upgrade the platform first and then the app later, essentially giving you the flexibility to decide when you want to upgrade and what you want to upgrade. And so that's all for me. Back to you, Spencer and Julia.
Thanks, Shamal. I love the flexibility here. Thank you for sharing it with everybody on the call. And before we wrap today, let's discuss a little bit about what happens after today's webinar. So be sure to keep an eye on the chat and grab some of the must-have resource links that have been popping in throughout the lifeline of the recording here. And the conversation actually doesn't end here. So we can keep interacting with us and our team and ServiceNow folks on the new releases and the upgrades in the community. Subscribe to the page to stay updated with what's new from ServiceNow, whether it's in the family releases or if it's in the store release. And get the tools you need to upgrade. Be sure to check out all the store release pages to get more information about the new innovations in the November store release that we talked about today.
And the community is also the right place to learn about upcoming events like this one too, right?
That's right. So if you want to see us or some of our even funnier colleagues, be sure to keep an eye out for upcoming events.
Awesome. And you can check out the recording from today's session too. The link is in the chat now.
You got a bunch of great content to follow up after the fact. And if we did get a chance to answer your questions, we'll follow up with you offline here. Just message us privately in the chat, provide your contact info, and boom, we'll connect.
Thank you all for joining today's November store release webinar. I'm Julia. Thank you to Spencer. Thank you to Shamal. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.